couldn't hop on a game and do what I do.
You couldn't do it.
That's a skill.
Your son couldn't do it. Your grandkids couldn't do it. Your son's grandkids could never do it.
The last one we're gonna watch for tonight. You seem like the type that would own a Chihuahua. No, I don't. No, I don't say that. The last one we're gonna watch is the long one. I really haven't watched any of Faze's stuff. I remember them doing Call of Duty stuff. That's all I really thought of them. Before was like the Call of Duty, you know, trick shots, all that. Well, apparently there is a new wave of Faze Clan, and they're all, I think all the old guys left or something. I don't know anything about Faze, but apparently there's like a new Faze Faze Clan, and they do like regular type content. I guess Old Faze may have, again, all I know about Old Faze is they did Call of Duty stuff. 9 to 5 workers versus streamers debate. What is harder? They got kicked, but some of the OG members are still there. The new Faze guys are hilarious. Okay. So y'all know about them. Okay.
Like your mom like
No,
that,
she
dude.
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude.
All right, can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen, bet.
Your job is
chill.
you would have to actually have to go to work.
And went to school, and still.
And paid rent.
Yes, I still worked.
That's your choice. You're
high. You're hungover.
Credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time.
I don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
Are we doing Discord? No, we're not gonna do Discord today. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do Discord React tomorrow.
What's up? How's it going?
Same old different day.
Okay. All right. So my
He's a male
argument
carrier.
here is that streaming and social media.
Lacey has cultivated a substantial multi-platform audience with nearly 1.5 mil Twitch, over 1 million on Instagram, 2.3 on TikTok, approximately 217 on X. Bro, it's Twitter. It's not X. I'm sorry. It's Twitter. He joined Faze Clan in May 2024, quickly gaining 3 or 4. Okay, so he's a new member.
Media creation is harder than a 9 to 5.
Facts.
But I said Luda. Yeah, watch me get up here.
9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Wait, what did he say? I'm
than a
sorry,
9
I
to
was
5.
talking.
Is that streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9 to 5.
Facts.
Nah, it's not
No,
facts,
it's not.
bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking bullshit job, and slave for fucking pimp.
I'm gonna try not to pause it a bunch because I know some of y'all like it paused, some of y'all don't. I will say, as someone who was a musician, like a touring musician, and did content at the same time, and did college, and then went to doing content creation and college at the same time and not doing a musician, I would argue, is harder than a 9 to 5. Not a, being a doctor or a surgeon. But I will say, like, especially as a kid, being in college and high school, having to dual enroll, doing all that, having to edit, and I did all the editing in the band, having to edit everything, having to turn in school on time, and then I'd get up at like 5 to get in the car, start school, start editing, to drive to the next venue. Some nights we wouldn't get to shower. Some nights you don't really get to eat. Performing, getting to the, Planet Fitness to shower around 2 or 3, sleeping in your car. That's, it's harder than a typical, there's going to be people who are like, but what about doctors? Not that, okay? Can we please use our brains? I'm not saying doctors or, there's obviously other things. But for a typical, going to sit at an office from 9, getting home at 5, I would say that's easier than being in a touring band. Especially a starting one that's not super successful. It sucks. It sucks booty cheeks. But just doing content creation, I do content creation now. I do walk dogs on the side, but I mostly do content creation. I don't think it's harder than a 9 to 5. I think it's hard to succeed. Yeah, Meryl said content creation and being successful is 100% harder than a normal job. Succeeding, yeah, is very hard. It's so saturated that it's almost impossible to succeed, and most people will tell you it's, almost impossible to succeed. I still don't think what I do, even trying to succeed, is anywhere near as hard as what my dad does. My dad works in insurance, and he doesn't work your typical 9 to 5. He's kind of always on the clock, so I don't know if that changes the argument or whatever. But my dad, 100%, his job is harder than what I do, because I also love what I do. So, when you love what you do, it makes it, easier. I understand it's hard. It's hard to be successful. It's hard to put in the work, especially when you have other things piling in. Like for me, I was dealing with a lot of burnout from being in a band and touring since I was 7 years old. So like it makes it hard. There's other things that make it harder, but I don't think it's harder than a 9 to 5. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, you have your own schedule that you want. You are your own boss for the most part. Obviously, if you have a manager, all that stuff. I don't. It's not harder than a 9 to 5. It really isn't. Maybe some 9 to 5s, but I don't think it's harder than most. I don't think it is. But yeah, I agree with the being successful because it is really hard. Jason the Ween, the blonde-haired one, is kind of in a content relationship. It's so funny watching people on the internet and his other. He's so parasocial. Oh no. Is it like a weird parasocial or like a cute parasocial? Is that a weird question? Seems more stressful and less stable. Yeah, it's very unstable. At least an office job, you can go home and sleep in your bed at the end of the night. Yeah, there was many nights I slept in the van with no AC, sweating my booty cheeks off. So I took a normal job to get that bread. Ooh, woodcutting sounds fun. 9 to 5 is definitely easier than being in a band. Better paying. Yeah, I think it's, for me, just because I was in a touring band for so long, my head immediately goes to, well, being in the band was way harder than content creation. So, but that's also because when you're in a band, you have to do content creation now to succeed. You can't really be in a band and not succeed without content creation. So being in a band, you were a band member, a content creator, a manager, you know, I was in school, so a student, like there was a lot of other things you're doing. But I also need a stable income, so having a normal job, I find it's best. Yeah. It would be less stressful as a job, but more stressful trying to make a living. Yeah. I think it's definitely a toss-up, but as a blanket statement, I don't think it's harder. But I know a lot of people say it just to make people mad. So that was my long tangent. Hopefully I don't pause it much more.
See,
but I
that's
might.
the
So.
thing is, you're right. You get up every day. You go through the motions. You don't have to get a good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up. You go, you know.
It's hard because it depends on what 9 to 5 job.
Sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls. With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on
He's
your
just
game
trying to make him mad,
24/7.
though.
It's like a switch that never
when you're a
turns
mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail
A little bit
carrier.
of both. Honestly, some are adorable, like his friends, and some edits are just weird. What if they end up? What? He was just sad for me. Oh, that's crazy. He seems young too.
And I'm gonna tell you something,
I assume
man.
they're both really
I
young.
get treated like shit every mother day.
We have to deal with.
Did you see her face? Look at the lady's
I
face.
get treated like shit every mother day.
She heard a
We have
cuss
to
word and
deal
said,
with
"Oh."
thousands,
Every day.
tens of thousands of people
Bullshit.
critiquing every little thing we do, every
Man.
decision we make, every thought
You
we
guys
have.
got it
Different
made,
21.
man. I wish I had
We
it made
don't-
like y'all.
We don't have to
I
go
wish.
sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox.
Man,
We
you
have
got
to
it
be,
gravy, bro.
What's the next trend?
You
What's
got
the
it
next
gravy.
idea?
I go through
Oh my
every-
God, I have to stream today.
At least
got
S,
dogs
but
that
not
wanna
F, really.
bite my ass
And you
every
have lunch
day.
breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have
You have
breaks.
lunch
We're
breaks.
on 24/7.
You got
High energy,
I wish I
24/7.
could be at home like you and keep
They
that
got
good
lunch
money.
breaks.
We're not even at home. We're walking around. We're
Man,
walking
I
around
wanna-
doing things.
Unless you're in a really successful band, I think most of the I think most of the bands I listen to have other jobs. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them have 2 jobs. The like band and then that. And it's hard because when you're touring, you have to quit your job and no one wants to hire someone who's been quitting a bunch, so you have to lie about not having previous work so then no one wants to hire you. It's really tough.
Going to
Because
parties, doing
the
all this
shit
stuff.
I gotta slave just for not even 100,000 a year. I gotta work double overtime. Bullshit.
Okay, what about this? You're guaranteed to get paid. You have a
No, I'm not.
steady rate.
If I don't work, I don't get paid. It's simple as that.
Yeah, but you have a guaranteed.
But if he does
pay
work,
if
he
you
does
work.
get
I
paid.
don't.
Your
I see
decision
what the
to go
guys
live.
I gotta
say.
work
If
at
he
the
works,
job
he does
If
get
I don't
paid.
go live, I don't
Just
get paid
to
either.
collect.
You don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we have people in the chat spamming L's. Oh, this is frustrating. We don't like this video. We have to create content. Imagine you have to be.
I like that they're
high
all, like,
energy.
older
Oh, hey
people as
guys,
well, 'cause
how's
they're
it
gonna just
going?
hate
Hey, guys,
it.
like this stream?
That's me 24/7. I'd rather do that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man, that's what I want to do. F that. F this 9 to
Hi,
5 shit.
Bubba.
If streaming
Wait, I think Bub's got to go out. We're gonna have to put a pause on this real quick. I gotta take Bubby out. I'm with the 9 to 5 job guy about streaming being easier, but I'm with streamer guy. I'm making a living off that being more stressful. There's no stable income. So I think one should, like Hazer did, work a regular job and stream on the side until streaming pops off. True, I agree. Sit back and do it.
is so easy, how come every single person in this seat is not a streamer?
People are lazy. They want to put in the work.
That's their fault.
I get called fat all the time.
Oh, so what? I get called fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat,
Well,
whatever.
That's your homeboys, though. I'm going to keep it a buck. That's a
Yeah.
homeboy.
Yeah, and you right, homeboy. You right. But check this out. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she wants to say.
Oh my gosh, wait, we're seeing a flag.
Unfortunately, these flags
not
are
trying to take
actually
himself out.
useless.
He's trying
We
to come get me. I
decided to
can't just
use
leave
a
the door open,
timer
though.
instead because we suck at explaining things.
Wait.
You raise your flag, is there?
So that was the argument? If we're giving points, who do we think won that one? Who do we think won that debate? I think, honestly, I'd give it to... What was homeboy's name?
Get up every day. Streaming and
his
social
name?
media creation is harder than a 9 to 5.
Nah, it's not facts,
They
bro.
didn't give
9
him a
to,
name.
9 to 5 is way hard. Work 24/7. I'd rather do that. Yeah,
They didn't give him a name, so I'm gonna go with 9 to 5 guy. Simply because I feel like his argument was stronger. Theirs was a little... They had it for a second. They were cooking for a second, and then they just kind of started memeing too.
So you raise your flag. Is there a reason you did
Yeah,
that?
because I was actually a cook for 15 years. So that means for 15 years, I had to get up practically every day, get dressed, go to work, and I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children every day, too.
We deal with tens of thousands of children and adults.
The Lacey Thugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Thugs are?
I can't go out in public without 10 kids coming up and asking for a picture. Do you know how hard that is of a life?
Isn't that
That is
special?
difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever.
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me. I don't have that security that's going to last forever. Having a job, being
That's
a
why
cook,
you gotta
you
grind.
have that security of, oh, I have a job,
I like the
have
guy
a degree, I have this.
back,
I don't
it's
know.
funny.
This could end for
Just
me tomorrow.
add lemon.
Hypothetically, if you said...
That's why you
if
gotta
all of a sudden
grind.
You lost all your followers. What would you do?
I know what he'll do. Get up.
No, I'm asking
Trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would
Job.
you do? If you lost completely all your YouTubers, you had nothing. No one watched you anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore. What would you have to do? You would have to actually have to go to work. Oh my God, did I just cuss at you?
That's a slur. If
I
I
like
did
her.
lose all
She's
my
funny.
followers, I would probably
Is
buy
my
a
cam in a
couple
bad
houses
spot?
and start my real estate empire.
Okay, so then you would have to actually go to work.
Oh, no, I think
you
it's
would
fine.
actually have to go to the office.
And I would think that that would be a much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But
and
no,
stuff
he
like
lost
that.
everybody. He lost everybody. He has no followers whatsoever.
you're-
He would
you're-
have to turn
yeah, but
around.
you're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to
proving
turn
my
around.
point.
I feel like
You're proving my
it's
point
also
on
like he
why
did work
this is
for it.
harder,
No,
because I could lose it all
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but you could lose it tomorrow.
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's say
so
you're
we're
a player.
gonna
You
got
have
working job.
hundreds of people lined up. You could go cook over here, cook over there. You
could be a private chef.
You could be a private chef. Exactly. I don't have that security.
I was a cook in the school system. I cooked all frozen food.
But you still cook.
You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a flag right here.
Flags. I see red flags.
I'm gonna have to backlight. Yo, Lacey, this is the truth.
I don't know who I would give that one to. I don't know who I'd give that one to. She's cooked. She's for real cooked. I don't know. I don't know. Cause like, she say what would happen if you lost all your followers? That's not really an argument of which one's harder or not, though. Cooks and chefs are very different. I don't know. I might say entertaining at the level they're at, where they do like 24-hour streams, constantly entertaining, spending lots of money, planning things out to make these big, luxurious streams. Might. Hey, don't shoot me. Might be a little bit tougher than putting frozen meals in a microwave. She told us they were frozen. She told us she didn't cook. She said, I put it was frozen. So she's telling us. So I don't know. I think maybe that she lost that one. She kind of told us she just puts frozen stuff in the microwave for kiddos. No benefits, no 401k, no pay time off, nothing. That's what I'm saying, bro. You got to remember there is levels to this. It's not, streaming is a less stressful job overall most of the time. Like you said, you still got to work to get there. Downplay whoever doesn't do what they do, but let's be honest, everyone's got to work to earn. Yeah. I would also say there is a level when it comes to, definitely overall, there's a level of harassment that comes from people because people just get weird. But there's also a level, I don't think there's any girls, unless this is not all of Faze Clan, doesn't seem like there's any girls on it. I'd also say it's different when you are, I wouldn't even count myself as a successful streamer. But when I was in the band, and I wouldn't even say we were a famous band, but when I was in the band, even at the small level, we had a lot of harassment, and I still get daily people sending very vulgar messages and saying very vulgar things to me. And I mean, y'all have seen them come into stream and say very vulgar things. And so like you have to add that on to it. As a cook, for the most part, working for children, you don't gotta deal with that. You don't have to worry about the kids wanting to stalk you and sending you your address and saying, I'm gonna come do all these crazy things, you know. So you do have to take that into consideration. When you say what's harder, for me, I'm not just thinking, oh, physically harder. I'm thinking like, okay, mentally, you know, how is it harder? I would say it's mentally harder. For me, personally, I would say it might be mentally harder to be a streamer, successful streamer, not just, you know, streamer, successful streamer, than to be a school chef. Because I feel like as a successful, like, again, I am on a minuscular of small little minuscular, and I deal with daily very vulgar, nasty things. I mean, incredibly nasty things. So, like, I can't imagine what it would be like on the scale that they're at. I can't imagine what it would be like as a girl. Streaming at their level is a full-time job, no doubt, yeah. Just like owning your own business, you got to put in a ridiculous amount of hours, but a 9 to 5 just depends on the job and your enjoyment of it. It's true. Like, again, like I said, the people working on our bulkhead, being out there in the sun from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 100 times that's harder. 100 times. They're literally out there in 100-degree weather working their booty cheeks off. 100 times. That is so much harder. So much harder. But she just told us she doesn't even cook. She just puts the frozen meals in there. So it's like, one could say streaming's harder than that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta treat people like people. It's true.
I think something you guys aren't taking into account. Say we get a brand deal, I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 Loco cans.
No, you just lost it.
Like, I gotta make sure I get the 4 Loco can. And
Not to mention,
You have to do work.
it ruins our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
And then that goes into falling off.
My name is Rhonda. I'm a registered nurse from the South.
Okay, she wins. Okay, Rhonda wins because she's a nurse. Again, there are certain jobs that I don't care what level you're at. There's certain 9 to 5 that are always going to be harder. And she's a nurse. She wins. She saves people. She's a nurse. She wins. She wins. And I can't imagine what she has to deal with as a female nurse. Like, she wins. In every argument, she wins. In every argument, she wins.
35 years ago, I decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative, I thought. I loved fashion, I loved acting, I loved singing. But in the South, whole lot of racism. Back in the 60s and the 50s, people didn't give a rat's if you created something, and they wouldn't support your business. So yes, a 9 to 5 is much harder. I had to work 7 to 3, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had to support my daughter.
Rhonda,
You get spoiled.
Rhonda, can I ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever done
You
it?
get spoiled. No.
Rhonda,
You get spoiled, and your mama and daddy keep
Rhonda,
giving it to you.
Rhonda, I got a
did
question
it.
for Rhonda.
I
got a
did
question
it.
for Rhonda. Rhonda,
Yes.
have you ever done a subathon?
What's a subathon?
30 days straight, 24 hours a day.
Day and night. No break.
We all streamed for
That ain't even healthy.
You're talking about working.
She said that ain't even healthy.
30-minute breaks throughout that. You get to go home afterwards, see your family, relax. We were on camera 30 days straight, no personal.
What
You know how
day
hard
were
it is
you a registered
to
nurse?
have.
When did you get a break? You clean boo-boo?
When have you ran a 3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever
up
ran?
vomit,
You never ran a 3-minute
You
ad?
pass trays. You short-handed.
Talk about the fake relationships that you have.
Oh my God.
Now keep.
It's fake
Think
on
about
social
this.
media.
Think about this. Imagine
Sure.
every little person, we call them
I love her.
parasocials. They judge your
Parasocials.
relationships. You can't go out to dinner or have a girl take a picture in your car without them finding out and judging
got
you
caught with
based
my
on it.
ex
I
in
got caught with
public.
my ex, and I got treated like I was a pedophile for it.
But mental health, when you stop caring about what people think and what they say about you, do you. And
Don't give the
that's a
hospital
big
the idea of
problem
running
with young
ads.
people. You care about what people think, social
Bro.
media, what they say about
Because
you.
that's our
That's our job.
You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, you know, the doctor, et cetera, or a 24-hour stream?
24-hour open surgery.
Oh, brother.
Short-handed.
We're saving thousands, you're saving one.
He said they're saving thousands, she's saving one. Oh, I told y'all this is where I told you there was gonna be moments that were tough to watch. Goodness gracious. Rhonda, hit him. Hit him, Rhonda. Oh, here we go.
All right, so you said 30-day subathon, right?
Yep.
My argument is that none of you guys actually did any of the work during that, and it was all your filmers, your editors, your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have fun.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
Your life-saving
No,
heart.
because here's the thing.
Time for 5 minutes.
That's bad takes.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
They wouldn't have any work if it wasn't for us, though.
I would even go as far to say as every person in this room, we keep them employed as well. Because here's the thing, we get sponsors from these companies that have 9-to-5s, right? These companies, hold on. These companies are not viable without influencers to push the brand and keep them in business.
Have you ever worked a real job?
No.
So how would you know?
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I worked 8 months, I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a year.
Why is she laughing?
Okay, why are they laughing at that though? Walmart sucks. I know older people that had to go get a job at Walmart because no one else would hire them because they were old and they needed the money, so they went to work at Walmart and they're treated like absolute booty cheeks. They are treated like absolute booty cheeks. So working a double at Walmart and that's actually like I don't know why they're laughing. That is actually like that's hard. I don't know why they're laughing.
8 months, I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a year.
That's good.
Nah, she's making me mad. I actually feel like they're wrong.
Okay, wait. Streams are high energy and entertaining, often featuring Fortnite funny reactions and interactive moments with fans. Known for his humor and loud personality, he's his audience engaged with constant. Why did ChatGPT write this, bro? What am I reading? On viral clips on Twitch, he boasts around 3.9 million followers, 23,000 per stream. Yeah, the dude that worked the fast food, all that, like, he did work. Like, he did work. Like, I don't know why they're laughing at that. Those are very valid and real jobs. I want to talk about real jobs.
Hi, I'm Chris.
All right, Chris.
Why do you think a 9-to-5 job is not harder than what you do?
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
And that makes
okay.
it harder?
Yeah. No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier
Yeah.
because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%. You have
Makes
security.
it easier
Talk about
for
raises.
Makes it easier for
about
9-to-5
raises.
people to have a job because their pay is
Yeah,
guaranteed.
when you go to work every day, everyone's
So you're
like,
basing the ease of a job just on somebody getting paid regularly? Is that what you...
well, let's
is-
just say
but I'm-
that comes to perspective. If you say someone who works,
I feel like that would make a job, it would make it mentally easier knowing you're going to get a certain amount of pay for the work you're doing. Because, again, like we were saying, becoming successful as a streamer is really, really difficult. And there were times where I pulled up to stream and I've stayed up all night editing and posting videos making $0. I'm still not making a bunch of money. But, like, there were times I would show up and make absolutely zero buckaroos. $0. I would come off of stage from playing a show and doing all that and then go and stream. And because I just wanted to do it. I thought it would be really cool. I love the community. I always wanted to do it since I was little. So I will say, having a check, knowing there is money coming in, would make it any job, and knowing it's a good check would make any job easier.
works food, if you're someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9 to 5, someone who works food, if you're someone who works a doctor.
Clearly, is that what you...
Well, let's just say that comes to perspective. If you say someone who works food, if you're someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9 to 5, someone who doesn't need a degree, yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
How so?
Well, it's
He just said being a doctor is easier. He lost me. I'm sorry. He lost me. He had me and he lost me. I don't think they're being serious as well. The only reason I'm not, I don't think they're being serious. I'm pretty sure they're just rage baiting them because they think it's funny and they know they'll make good content.
It's because you're guaranteed and you don't need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9 to 5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker, I could go to Foot Locker.
20 varies from person to
apply.
person. What
And
isn't a
then
lot
next
to
thing
one
you know,
person,
I'm
maybe a
selling
ton
shoes for
of money to another. Yeah, but I was making zero. Actually, I'm not saying 100. I was making $0.00. I wasn't making. I don't think I actually started making money from Twitch maybe a year ago, I actually started making like enough money to pay for stuff like Dempsey's food and stuff. I still don't make a ton of money. I still don't make like, that's why I walk dogs on the side. I make more money walking dogs than I do my content, if that puts it into perspective. It's very hard to, it's not harder than a 9 to 5, but it's very hard to make money being a successful streamer. I've from my YouTube being able to be monetized, I might make more this month from YouTube than overall on Twitch, if that puts in percent. Because you have to remember as well, Twitch takes 50% of our cut, unless you're a partner with them, I believe. So 50% of my cut from Twitch goes to Twitch. I don't get 50% of it. So it's very difficult to make money on Twitch, I will say. Now at their level, I can't speak for it. I've never been there, but yeah, I'm not saying, oh, I didn't make a lot of money and it was, you know, a couple bands. I was making $0.00. I think he said other than a doctor. Oh, okay, got you. Look at her life is so easy.
Pay every single hour.
So according to you, a job is easier or harder based on the guaranteed pay. That's one aspect of it.
Working
right?
at Foot Locker, working at a job like Panera or wherever Lacey is easier than a streamer. Yes, because a streamer you have to come up with ideas. You have to stay relevant.
We're talking about ideas now. Okay,
yeah,
we're talking about pay.
Okay, so what do you want to start with though? But it doesn't make. But you're not even. You keep switching it. So why don't you?
He's trying to come up with different ideas.
Yeah, so how is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what's your definition of hard? That's the thing. It's like what
stuff
is
that
difficult.
you need creativity. You need to get out of your circle.
I don't like
zone.
the guy he's debating because that guy's just like trying to be like, so what about this? Well, then what? He's just trying to like throw all his words back at him. He's not actually he doesn't. All the other people actually had an argument. This guy's just being like, so what is hard? Okay, but what you were saying money. Now you're talking about what's hard. It's like, but you asked me, bro. What do you mean? What do you want me to say?
Make people believe what you believe in the sense of like.
Rhonda's my girl, by the way. I love Rhonda.
Do you watch any TV shows?
I watch YouTube.
Okay, you watch
so
YouTube.
Much YouTube.
So it's the same thing.
Absolutely,
so the people that you're entertained by are the people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true, but you're talking about entertainment as a job. We could talk about entertainment.
This is entertainment,
as a job.
but this is entertainment.
But
my question to you is why?
Absolutely.
So do you truthfully you can sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that? I'm just using that because that's the best example. Is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word hard means to you. Because
in the sense of everyday activity. Because some people around here said, oh, I got to wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Oh, yeah. Okay, we have to do the same thing.
Sure.
Some people do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No, we deal with millions
of people.
When
you're creating that content and you have your phone, you're dealing with you and yourself in that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
coworkers
and you're not
That's not true at all. I have an editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing any type of content, he loses a job.
So when you go to your job, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the card, let's say, who's above you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, oh, we're not doing it anymore? You lose your job.
If the work is picking up a phone or turning on a camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift.
He's saying a whole lot of nothing. His word count was like 5,000. He's trying to reach it.
Tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually doing your job for however many number of hours that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff that everybody's watching you do.
He's holding his back. Bro is holding his back. He's like, I got you, man. I got you, man. I got you, man.
Mental aspect.
I understand that.
No,
I like his haircut.
Hear me out. Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which
this
is
is a very circumstantial argument. It is a very much so like.
Sorry, bye. See you later.
It can't just be a blanket statement, I don't think.
What's your name?
So I'm Angelina, and I work as an executive assistant.
You're right. You're right. She's right. She's right. She's right. I'm not gonna lie. She's right.
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6, but I still have to clock in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home. But if I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job.
Why is he shaking?
You guys
What's
talk
the guy in
about
the
how
back
it's hard
shaking
because
his
there's a
head?
mental aspect. And I understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you
berated.
been on social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like 10,000 followers the bat, and I was very young, and I started working with different brands.
Okay.
I totally understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and travel the world and have other opportunities.
You're just saying a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
Just so I can answer a couple. So you were saying like to go back to the beginning. You were saying like
He's
you can
shaking his
manage
head
like your
'cause he
time with
doesn't
like
like
relationship.
lesbians.
Was that correct? Like you have your girlfriend.
Did he shake it when she said that?
I fortunately have a support system, but I
said I
every
did
day
both.
like
That's a
ask
solid
myself
argument.
how I.
See, but so did the one guy that worked the double. So did the one dude that worked the double. He worked Walmart in what's it called? Panera. So, which I feel like again, him saying he worked Walmart is like from everyone that's worked Walmart that I've heard from that I personally know, it's like I don't care what you're going through in life, don't work Walmart. Do not do it. Walmart is awful.
I would
So
have
I'll
been
give you
able
a
to do it
perfect
without.
example.
I will say though that yes, they can take. I understand what you're saying. I'm not. Y'all have already heard me say that. You know, obviously there's a lot of 9-to-5s that are harder. There are some that might not be as hard. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I will say, her saying they can go wherever and make content out of it and they can relax. I don't think, because again, when I was in the band, there would be times when we would go to a movie or, you know, whatever it may be for relaxation. Oh, but let's get a vlog of it. You're no longer relaxing, especially, I think it was also because I was so young at that point, you know, being a 12, 13, 14-year-old, all of that. It's very hard to shut off that work side of the brain and enjoy the movie, just enjoy being a kid watching the movie. Because in my head, okay, I gotta entertain, okay, the camera's on, okay, I gotta, you know, my brain is on work mode. And I feel like your brain, and it's not for this way for everyone, so I understand, you know, maybe she didn't feel that way, but your brain never gets to shut off. I know for my dad, like I said, my dad's job is so much harder. And if he ever heard me say it wasn't, he'd kill me. But I like fully believe his is harder. But he, at the end of the day, when he gets off work, if he's not, you know, got calls, if he's going through a rough time, rough month, then no, he doesn't. But when he's not on calls, when he takes vacation, his job is off. His phone is off. He does not have to worry about work at all whatsoever. He knows he does not have work. Even when yesterday, I didn't stream yesterday, but I was still thinking about work, still getting a video up, still posting, still having, my brain is like, it's always on. You're always on. And like someone said in chat, it's like that's what owning a business is. When you start a business, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't really ever get to take a second off. Yes, you maybe get to afford these cool luxuries, but when you're on this luxury, why do you think there's so many like rich marriages, like where the guy's really rich and he has a wife and then they end up divorcing because the wife's just like, well, he never paid any attention to me. He bought me all this cool stuff, but he never had time for me. Because when you own a business, you own all this stuff. Your brain never really gets to shut off. You are either constantly on your phone, whether it's for a business where you're the boss and you're having to talk to your employees and business, all that, as a streamer, having to think about content, all that, getting that out, making sure you're not falling under, making sure you're following trends, all this stuff. So I do understand where she's coming from, you know, oh, well, you get to go on a vacation and write it off and say, oh, you get to go have fun. But depending on the person, they may not actually get to go have fun because they're constantly thinking, okay, I got to vlog this. Okay, did we get that vlog? Did I send over the SD card and footage to that person so they can edit while I'm gone so we have videos uploaded? Did I backlog enough videos to get uploaded while I'm gone? Do I need a IRL stream while I'm here? Do I need to do this? Do I need that? So it's just a toss-up. But when you say that, they're like, but yeah, but I don't get to go on the vacation. It's like, I understand you don't get to do that, and that sucks. But there's also parts of it where, like, while they're on vacation, they don't ever really actually get to take vacation, but also they get the luxury of getting to take vacation and work. So, like, I understand both sides of the argument. It's hard. I'm not saying that it's harder, though. It's hard, though. I think people do think it's easier than it is. But that doesn't mean it's harder than 9 to 5. Does that make sense? I can feel myself trying to please everybody. I'm you know, I'm not trying to make anybody upset. But I'm also still thinking from when I was touring in the band and doing content while in the band and all that. But yeah, so like, yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Felt like I had impossible standards. It was no longer enjoyable because I was using it to survive. Oh, like you have luxuries but can't enjoy them. And yeah, and like to a certain extent, because I'm sure there are some luxuries that they get to enjoy, and you know, it's so amazing. And it depends on the person. Maybe they can fully shut their brain off and enjoy it. But my boss went to Hawaii for 7 days 2 weeks ago. He took his laptop so he could work alongside. Yep. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you are the boss, when you're, you know, there is no clocking out. You do kind of still have to work no matter what you are technically on vacation for or whatnot. Both sides downplay the other. Yeah. With no, why is Chris Jericho being about it? Yeah, so I think this video is obviously a joke, but being for real, I think both sides downplay the other one because they feel the other side doesn't understand them, so they have to. As humans, we just think to attack if we feel like we're being misunderstood. We're like, oh well, then you just don't understand because you're stupid. So I think both have their ups and downs, and obviously being a doctor and you know a teacher being underpaid is like way harder than creating content, but also creating content is really hard sometimes too, and you don't get to turn your brain off. And if you have a bad mental health day, sucks to suck. You gotta stream, or you gotta make YouTube, or you're not gonna get paid because you don't have paid time off. You don't have a sick day. You don't have, you don't have all this. And if you break an arm, you don't have health insurance because you work for yourself. So yeah, I get both sides. We can all agree streamers suck. I'm turning the stream off. Grass is always green on the other side. It's true. It really, really is. And like we have said 100 times, being successful in this industry is also incredibly hard, just like being a musician. That's why we always got asked on the road, what's your advice for being in a band? And it was like, don't do it. It's so hard. It's so hard. These are very different types of jobs. Yeah. It's all just a different, and I think we're all still learning how to do it as well. I mean, it's very new if you think about it. So I think everyone's trying to learn as it goes. And I can understand the frustration of the older generation because they think in their head, you're just sitting on your computer gaming. So I can see from their perspective why it would look like it was just no work at all. Content creators are always finding ways to keep their audience entertained. Yeah, it's true. And you can lose attention spans so quickly. So there's something the grass is never greener on the other side. I think not. I think I had a song for that one.
So you said 14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down, right? Yeah. I lost everything, fell off completely. About to myself. It's a real story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why are you smiling?
We've all been there. Every 9-to-5 worker has been there.
So going back to what you said, how you have a support system, I moved across the country from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my, like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making more than my rent.
Yeah.
So I was losing.
You were in the red every month.
I was in the red every single month. Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my support system?
I don't like why she's laughing, bro.
I don't like that she's laughing.
You said
okay, I know they're being like stupid, but I don't like that lady's laughing. Like, bro is actually being for real.
First 4 years you started streaming, you had no income. How are you able to survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
So that to a certain extent is privilege.
16! Why are they saying he was 16? It's not uncommon for 16-year-olds to live with their parents. Why are they acting like it was a gotcha moment? What is this? What is attached to my seat? I think I just found a bomb in my chair. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna put it back in there.
That's privilege?
It is.
16.
But my mom, how's that privilege?
How dare you live with your parents when you're a child?
You have the support system to have a place to live.
Well, at 15, 16, I would hope I have parents that would live with me.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't, and they have to take 9 to 5.
That's a whole different discussion. So a lot of people don't have houses.
A lot of people don't have families that support them or accept them.
But that's a whole different conversation. What does that have to do with the 9 to 5?
Because they still need to survive. So the fact that you were given the opportunity.
So how did you move to LA?
He was 16! Okay, I'm sorry. I would understand her argument with if he was older, but he was 16. Yes, he is blessed that his parents allowed him to live there when he's 16. I agree. But overall, a lot of 16-year-olds get to live with their parents. I understand there's some that don't. And so I understand that he's blessed because he did, but that's also kind of common that he got to. That's not an uncommon thing here. Congrats, you weren't an orphan. How privileged.
I moved across the country as well with my mom when I was 15 years old.
Do you not think that's privilege?
And bought my first house when I was 12.
I mean, we moved into a 1-bedroom in Santa Monica and shared a trundle bed, so.
Okay.
Okay, but he could say you're privileged then because you had a house. This is how her arguments act. She's acting like oh well, you're privileged because you were 16 and you were in your parents' house. Okay, well you were in a house with your mom, so you're privileged too. How about that? How about that? I don't understand her argument. I'd be like, you guys have Wi-Fi, you're privileged. It's like, okay, yeah, but like also, like, okay, I work for my wife. Like his parents obviously worked so that they could support their kids still living with them at 16. So I don't know.
Well, I was reselling shoes to afford my mom's mortgage and everything.
Okay, when people are like, I didn't get that luxury. Okay, so you agree it was bad, you didn't get this, then don't you want to change that for the next generation? Oh, don't even get me started on that. How people are like, I want you to have a better life than I did, and then they get mad that you have a better life than they did.
Definitely helped my family out in times where I was able to, but I also had to have my family support me.
I think she's mad that she didn't get successful as content
to make
creation.
money in the first place. So if you didn't have content creation, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. I don't know because I didn't set my goals that way. I set up my life to that. I know I would do what I want to do. If we all got paid the same every single month, let's say just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, a crazy amount of money. Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question, would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Yeah, if she was a nurse, she had to go to medical school for years just to be able to have her
But
foot
she
in the
knew
door.
that she was getting security because she was going to be a nurse, correct?
No, you can't say no, brother. No. Okay, the nurse was not the one to use. Use the school lunch lady. That was your in. That was your in. She admitted it was frozen. She admitted it was frozen. You should have used her. And she's being rude. Don't use Rhonda. Rhonda literally is a nurse. Oh, we're cooked. Oh, he had him. He had him. He had him, and then he lost it. Ah. I got my art degree. Where's my professor?
How's it not secure if you knew what you were going to do?
Nothing's secure.
Nothing's secure. You just proved my point. But you just proved my point.
No job is secure, but content creation gives you the ability to have those savings, to have an audience. And even if you do lose all your
No. Successful content creation. Don't rope us all into this one. Successful? Yes. Unsuccessful? My medical bills would disagree. I don't know about that one. There's a reason I'll get up at 7 a.m. and go walk dogs tomorrow.
Followers one day,
Yeah.
even if
Let's say I lost it all tomorrow.
You still have residuals of your previous viral videos. Even if people are hating on you and shitting on you, that's still adding to what goes into your pocket.
There's literally doctors who do one surgery and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Because they were trained for decades and they had to go to
So
school.
were we.
You went to school to be a content creator?
Streamer University.
No! Oh, okay. I'm sorry. He lost. He had me right until the end. He had me right until the end. I was going to give him that point, too. I was going to give it to him. Because low-key, she had no argument. She had no argument at all. She said, when you were 16 living at your home, false. No, you shouldn't have been. But then he brought in Rhonda for no reason. No reason. Okay, Adapt is the top tier variety. I can't speak. An IRL streamer averaging around 12,000 per stream, 930,000 followers, and peaking as 45. Okay, Faze Adapt is a key figure in Faze Clan. He helped shape Faze brand. Oh, is he an original member? He played Call of Duty, I think. I think that's one of the guys I know. He used to do trick shots and stuff. Shoot, yeah, he works harder. I bet y'all can't 360 no scope. This dude definitely can't.
Good, how you doing?
Alex.
Oh, he shook his hand.
Gabe, how we doing?
I'm doing good. So first of all, I want to say I do respect all of you for what you do. I mean, you guys do work, but you do not work as hard as people who have a regular job.
You don't know that.
I mean, that I do know it for sure. It's very clear. People have to wake up and do their routine over and over again. It's not a daily thing.
He's a college professor, but dare I say, the streamers interact with more college students than he does. Dare I say.
It's a weekly thing, it's a monthly thing, it's a yearly thing, it's a life thing. And if they screw up, they lose their jobs. And they always have to be careful because if they do something weird, they say something weird to their coworker or their boss, they're gonna lose their job. If you lose some followers because of something you say, you'll get other followers. And you have a large following enough
no, that's not how
there's
canceling
enough of a
works
range
nowadays.
of perspectives that people will always be on board for you
No.
as long as you're
yeah, that's
producing
not.
content. People,
Sir, that was not the argument to use. That was not the argument to use. Cancel culture is so bad. So bad.
who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs, and maybe there's
Meryl's
a recession,
fixing to try to
there's not a lot
cancel
of
me.
jobs, as could be now. You know,
Meryl,
they
you know
get
I'm kidding. You know I love you.
homeless or worse.
You ever heard of cancel culture?
She's been canceled
What's that?
for her
Yeah.
name America. No, don't say that. Saying that makes it seem like I said something so bad. Saying that seems like I said something horrendous.
I've heard of it, but how many people have been canceled and came back? I mean, it happens all the time. Your boss is not going to be loyal to you if you don't get that thing in on time 5 times.
Okay, but check it
you're
out.
done.
Okay, so listen, but to be able to get that loyal following of people that do follow you,
Yes.
you need to build that over years
Okay.
and years
Okay.
and years and hours of
Okay.
trust
All right.
and communication and
Sacrifice.
intimate relationships with your audience.
Okay, so
that's not something that's just given to you.
Look,
that
the
you don't
things-
just fall into a million
must-
subscribers,
my
2
client
million
was
subscribers, 3
in
million
it.
Of course
subscribers.
not. It takes work for sure. But like what you guys are talking about in terms of like the toll it takes
This
on
guy's
you,
being
a
very
large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older
So
than
they're
you
bad at
guys,
arguing.
so a large part of it is just general
I think they're just
angst
joking
from
and
being
the other guys are
young,
getting mad.
and you just happen to have a camera in front of you and like talking to people or whatever, but at the same time, like
I would like to know what they think about actors and comedians, and because a lot of these people, I'm assuming, don't watch YouTube, but they probably watch news anchors and, you know, comedians and movies. I would like to think what they think about their jobs, because I feel like, especially with these guys streaming, like they said, 24 hours for 30 days at a time, it's no different than, you know, they're entertaining. They're entertainment. They're in the entertainment business. So, like, I'd like to think or know what they think, the older people think about those, because I'm sure they watch comedians and movies more than they watch YouTube. So I think it would also be different, because if they don't watch YouTube, they just probably think, oh, it's what those kids be watching on their Twitter, you know? So many church schools complain about media going down the drain, but then they bully Christian artists out of the industry. Wait, that was so random. It's no different than being a weatherman. I feel like they would be like, yeah, being a weatherman is hard. Oh, but being a streamer, no, that's easy. And it's like, but they're both, huh? For both sides of people. And that's Luda. Hey!
you're doing exactly what most people are doing, which is dealing with
I've
life
argued for
stuff,
both
and that's
sides. I'm a
normal.
great people-pleasing
like, the
debater.
mental toll that it takes dealing with people and getting comments and this and that, that's what everybody deals with. But you don't have to wake up at 6 in the morning.
I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry as someone, again, who has gotten heinous messages a lot. Are you good, bro? No, it's not the same. It's not the same as working with coworkers and all that. It's not the same. It is absolutely not the same. Having people come into stream and be like, say such out-of-pocket things and all that is not the same. I said heinous.
And
Not
get to your
heinous.
job and then be there and like be on the whole time, no matter what. Anyone who has a 9 to 5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do? What
Well,
do
I'm
you
a
do?
college professor, so I have to do that same
So
sort
you
of.
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15 years?
Yes, you're right.
Come on, bro.
Right, you're right.
You already know what you're doing.
We have to produce new shit every day.
For me in particular, to Silky's point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially reteaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take
what I'm
years
saying?
to learn, but
you know
yes.
what I'm saying? But I started making content when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
It started out playing Call of Duty trick shots.
Yeah, okay, this is the one I know.
Anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room could.
He used my argument! Bro! Get me on this show. Get me on this show. He used my argument. I said none of y'all could hit the 360 no-scope, and he used my argument. Get me on the show. I know it. I know it. Get me on the show. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I don't know if
So I
that's
had to
something to
do-
be proud of, but okay.
So I had to do that for 4
Sorry, you've never hit a 360. Just say so.
years,
Okay.
right? And then I'm like, okay. Then I had to do YouTube for 4 years,
Okay.
right?
All
And then I had to do Faze Clan, build Faze Clan out, fix Faze Clan, and then
Okay.
do
Oh,
streaming.
Andrew.
Okay.
So
And
you're
with how many
constantly-
people helping you?
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
For which stages?
Yeah, all of them. There were a lot. You had a team.
When I was
Was it just
When he was
you?
first
Like,
starting.
No. It
Okay.
was just me. There's receipts of this.
It wasn't built on the shoulders of anyone?
No.
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well, where did YouTube come from?
When I was
How
13,
did YouTube become so
when I was
easy?
13
Because
years
a
old.
bunch of
Okay, so he's saying YouTube counts as not just doing it by yourself because you used YouTube? What? So technically you didn't pass your driving test because you used the car. You shouldn't be. Technically, you didn't graduate college because you used the school. You don't get the credit because you didn't do it by yourself. Who do I talk to about getting hired? This is what I'm saying. They don't understand what YouTube is. That's why it's funny because they don't understand what stuff actually is. They probably think he streams on Twitter. The professor uses the college for his job. He doesn't teach outside the school. He didn't do it by himself. He used the college.
people work their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
And
what
if
you
it
did.
didn't exist, you couldn't press play, you couldn't press record, and then just talk.
The fact that you have a campus to teach on. Then
Yeah.
boom, there you go.
Right, but I also had to spend years earning my credentials and mastering.
And I did it.
Come on, guys.
He
Your
had years
credentials are playing video
mastering
games.
his-
I play video games on my spare.
He did have years mastering his craft of entertaining. You can't tell me he is still that popular as he is. I mean, I've known him, and I don't know anything about Faze, but I knew him. I knew him and I knew his stuff. So he's obviously spent years mastering his craft of entertaining and making sure he stays popular, which is hard with generations of zero attention spans. It means he worked his butt off on YouTube. Yeah.
Time. Come on, guys.
So you just want to get paid to play video games. It's okay. We understand.
He said he plays video. There's a difference between playing video games and being a streamer, though. Like, I will say, to be at the level they are, you can't just play video games. Just be like, unless you're really good. Okay, as a streamer, you're either really good at a game and people like watching you because you're really good, or you're just entertaining and you're mediocre at the game. And I think we all know I'm the first one. So I think we can all just ride that one off the bat. I'm the first one. I'm really good at any game I touch, especially League of Legends. So that's why y'all watch me. But for the other people that aren't good at their game, they're entertaining. So, but I'm actually a little bit of both. So, why are you putting the cap? That's not cap. I don't know what you're saying, cap. Okay, he lost because his argument was weak. He just kept saying me. Okay, Vicky.
My perspective is coming from a hair and makeup artist, physical job. Doesn't seem like any of you guys can even compete with the physicality.
Brother.
You guys just
I would argue. As someone, once again, I have receipts. I have, on the road and for music videos, we have hired makeup artists, okay, and hair people and all that. They come in, they work for 30 minutes, and they leave. Shoot, I don't know if y'all can tell time, but it's been more than 30 minutes is all I'm saying. And they didn't have to talk to us, they didn't have to entertain, they just came in, did their job, and left. I don't think I would argue that being a hairstylist or a makeup artist is harder. Is it hard? Yeah. And you have to be really talented and creative. I don't think I would say it's harder than entertaining, though. I'm here for her crash outs. I never crash out, so that's crazy.
I know how to do a 3-strand braid.
Just sitting on your butt and talking into a microphone.
We don't know.
Very different. Very different.
It's crazy she's saying that when I'm pretty sure most of them, it said were IRL streamers, did it not? It said they do IRL content.
Different than having to get up in the morning, carry all of your gear. You've got to carry all of your
IRL streamers
makeup,
have gear.
all of your supplies. You have to haul it around, get up early in the morning. You have to
So do
stand
they.
on your feet all day. You never
He's gonna
sit
point out
down.
IRL.
You're breathing in toxic chemicals.
You gotta be a good on camera
all
to be
day.
a streamer. It really takes skill to play stuff and respond to chat and be entertaining. That's why Lou is the best streamer. Oh, she's so good at responding to everyone. And she's shoot, the chat GPT that's so sweet. Maybe if she were a makeup artist for a sci-fi or fantasy movie, yeah. Like the people that worked on what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence, I believe, was the one who was the blue girl in X-Men. Right? They work like 9 hours a day. Shoot. Yeah, they work harder. Yeah, Mystique. Yep. So like, yeah, I agree with that. With those, the blue stop. IRL streaming is dangerous. Yeah, I want to do it so bad, but I'm also very paranoid of stalkers and dangerous people, just because we have had death threats before around our area when we were doing the band, so it's just scary. Carry the blicky, shoot.
All right, can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen,
Your job isn't
chill.
dangerous.
So your
Your
thing
job
is,
isn't physically taxing. You're just
It's not
talking
dangerous.
to
I'm
a
sorry.
microphone.
Listen. So your whole thing. Your whole thing is we can't do what
True,
you do,
Meryl.
right?
It's not
No,
physical.
but
I'm saying that
I
a
just-
9 to
y'all let
5
me talk for a
job where
second.
you
It is
physically
physical.
have to do some hauling around stuff.
So
and
physically,
Viral
I
streaming is
physically
literally
can't haul
physical.
around
to a microphone.
bags of like makeup. You physically could never trick shot. You could not hit a crane shot. You can't 1080. You can't hold a controller and make a 200K montage. You can't. No one in here can.
Come on, man.
None of you can.
Talk to him.
None of you can physically
And you have
go
to do that for 12 hours a day.
Yes. Actually,
You're
yes.
thinking of 4 days they had a
Yeah.
trick shot. It's taking you 4 days
Wait.
they had a trick shot.
Actually, yes, I would have
Hours
to
a
do
day.
that.
And then your day is
Yes,
never
I
done. When you're
would.
done doing that, is your job done? Do you
No.
have to go shopping and replace all of the
Yes,
things
they
that
have to
you
go do
use?
other stuff
You have to
offline.
clean
listen,
all of
Vicky,
your gear.
You don't know about dry streaks. You don't know about hit markers.
But when you're done, you're
You
done.
don't know about if the Elgato wasn't on.
When
Can
you're
you
done, you're
imagine
done.
these
Oh
things?
my God, disable
Elgato?
resample.
If I rendered my video in Vegas and I sent the editor the clips without disabling and resample,
Oh my God.
my montage is fucked.
You have
Your
to-
main underlying argument here is
Ever sure is not just
what
some
you
gamer?
do is
Yeah.
physically
Daily, day
more-
to
Okay,
day.
okay,
Yes,
Your
thank you,
main
and
thing is
daily. Oh my word.
what
Okay,
you
I don't
do
like
is
Vicky.
physically more taxing and hard than what any of us
And
do.
dangerous.
I could say the same thing.
Yep,
You
sound like
cannot physically trick shot. You could never. I would go as far
Okay,
as
so
I don't
how many hours a day do you trick shot?
I don't think
How many
any of you
hours
guys
a
ever do.
day do you trick shot?
when I
How many
when
hours?
I like
I
that she
was
thinks she
trick
has
shotting, it was
something.
12 hours a day. It was however
I also
long,
wish they would bring up IRL streaming because they would just cancel out her whole argument, but they're just
I
joking
needed to.
around.
However
Every
long
day,
I
12
needed
hours a day
to. However
trick
long I
shotting?
needed to hit a clip. Until-
12 hours a day, every day.
5 seconds.
And that clip is.
He
Meryl,
carries
that's
a Barrett
crazy.
50 cal and he jumps off of stuff.
I would have to get on Call of Duty, turn my sense all the way up to 1010. I would have to get to last. I would have to pray to God that he would be in the
left
right
him, he's
spot,
not trolling.
throw the concussion. Now I gotta have my rotations down. I gotta have my rotations.
Dead zones. Talk about the dead zones.
Talk about dead zone.
Stick drip.
Stick trip.
Thing is, for the most part, but that is not all YouTubers that are doing something physical.
See,
A
I'm
lot of
telling
it is-
you, they're thinking it's YouTube. I told you. They don't understand what streaming is. They think it's YouTubing on Twitter. That's what they think. I told y'all, they don't understand what streaming is. They don't understand it. They really don't.
Just talking.
Yeah, but she also said it was dangerous. We could walk around IRL stream and someone could rob us or kill us.
I gotta.
Wait,
Why are they laughing?
They're laughing, but that's happened recently.
I've gotten a pumpkin thrown on my head by a crackhead.
crackhead ran up to him on stream and
almost died.
almost
Because he
decapitated
quoted
him
his
when he
thoughts.
was-
I don't like that they laughed at that one because it's true. They're like, ha 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 ha. It's literally happened. I mean, just recently, the Emaru situation where she had a dude come up and was like, I'm gonna kill you since she wouldn't give him his number. Like, it's real. It happens. People are crazy. All right, Silky's a high energy IRL and GTA 5 streamer. Reactive, interactive streams alongside other Faze members on Twitch. He has around 866,000. Averages roughly 8,000, 20,000 per stream. Like, subathons peaked at 60,000. She's been talking a lot, so let's see what she does. Like, on the side, she's been
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
ex-librarian.
I'm very occupational. My last job, I worked as a librarian with elementary school children.
So
I have been an executive secretary, legal.
very quiet, peaceful.
Yes, yes, all that. You know, because it's who you are. That you know, we create social media all the time because that's what we are. We're 9-to-5ers, and we interact and
She's
have
tweaking.
energy with people. Where I don't think that you guys have that.
We have energy.
Are you serious?
You have false energy because you're
False
across the
energy.
screen. You're not interacting with people like we
you know
do.
how many-
So what are we doing right
Chat, we're not interacting. Are the voices real? Have I been talking to voices this whole time? Have I been talking? I need to go back on my meds. I should have never stopped my meds. Are the voices actually real? I'm not interacting with humans? None of us are real? Shoot, I guess not. We're not interacting.
We're not interacting?
What are we doing right now?
you're doing it now because we're doing a video.
Wait, isn't she debating for us? That's making it harder for us.
Do you know that there's millions of people?
Now I'm not gonna have all y'all gang up on me.
There's millions of people who watch the video.
Yes.
We save lives every day, probably more than doctors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's people that literally stay alive because they want to watch our videos.
You know about going out.
I will say they're joking about it, but I will say there are people who have such bad, whether it be mental health, home lives, jobs that make them miserable. They have such a terrible time just existing that their escape is YouTube. Just as much as my escape is video games, their escape is YouTube and watching people and it being entertained and laughing and getting a smile. So they're not like, these people are laughing and being like, whatever. But it is true. I mean, there are, they probably do save lives. People do probably, have a tough day, come home and watch it and be like, well, at least I get to just relax and unwind and watch this. So, I guess. Good night, Eddie.
Clubs at night, staying out till 2, 10 o'clock in the morning, trying to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so you can get dressed.
So you was having fun. Okay, so.
So, but I'm saying it's like you guys.
Everyone
don't,
rags on the
don't
clowns
do
until
the
they need a laugh.
interaction. You don't
Bars.
touch people like this.
Okay, now.
Because that wasn't consented.
going on?
Go to the club.
Miss
Put
Ma'am.
some shades on and you go by your day to work. We can't do that because we have thousands of people.
But is
You're
that
drunk,
your choice?
You're high. You're
But
hungover.
is that
Just
your
get off
choice?
screen. We don't want to see you like this.
But is that your choice?
We don't like you like this. Why are you doing this?
But is that your choice? You chose that. You chose this life.
That's the thing. We can't.
And that's what's happening now. That's what's happening now with the whole world. It's a total disconnect. When you have a 9 to 5, you dealing with people. You touching people's hearts,
We deal with
souls,
people's
mind. No, you are not.
Do you know how many bands we meet a day?
Look, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I respect what you do.
No, you obviously don't.
Oh my God.
Of course I watch
So
music.
do you ever,
I got kids.
wait,
I got grandkids.
Do you ever laugh? Do you ever laugh?
Of course I laugh.
So then they
We're
interact with
touching
you.
them.
But the interaction is
Did
not
it make
real.
you feel better?
When I'm watching
Wait, did it make you feel better?
What make me feel
Have you
better?
ever
It all
watched-
depends on
have you ever been
it all
entertained?
depends- it
Have you
all
ever been
depends
entertained
on
and been
what's
like, oh,
coming.
I feel good?
Some of it is fake.
right now.
Some of it is fake.
You see, you're not answering.
So now let me.
Okay, well, let me answer because I'm debating him.
Okay,
but
You
go
said
ahead.
you're not real.
Right after this, I got you. Right
Okay,
now. Go
all
ahead.
right, come on.
So when you're entertained, have you ever felt like you're dating if you watch something? You've never felt like that?
Yeah, sure.
You're a
So what's
figment
the
of
difference
our
about-
The
imagination.
difference with you is that you guys do this 24/7. That's all you do.
Yeah.
You just like you. Wait a minute. Somebody made a comment about, oh, I can't even go out with my girlfriend, or I can't even go out in public.
That's right.
I can go out in public and be seen.
So it's
You know what?
easier.
I'm a very social. I'm a
What
very
is she?
social.
What is she
person.
saying?
I'm very popular in where I do and where I am.
Yeah, streamers as well have to keep up with public appearances. It's true. They don't get the liberty to go, like we were saying earlier, they don't get the liberty to go out and relax and just not care if someone's watching them. Which, again, people are like, oh, but you chose that life. If somebody, that's what people say to me, when I say, oh, I get, thousands of people saying they're going to sexually assault me and all this stuff. And they're like, well, you chose to be a content creator. No, I chose to be an entertainer and want to have a community where people can come and feel safe. Because when I grew up and I felt lonely and I felt depressed, I went and I watched people gaming like Vaynos and Stampy. And I felt like I belonged because I was a part of a community that all enjoyed watching these videos and gaming videos and all of that. I didn't wake up and go, you know what I want? I want people to message me vulgar sexual assault threats. That's really what I want. Nobody said they want that. That's like saying you want to be in a relationship. Oh, then you want arguments. No, you don't want to argue with your significant other. But it might happen. That doesn't mean you want it. It's such a dumb argument. I hate that argument. I hate it and I get it all the time. They're like, well, you chose that life. No. I chose to follow a dream of mine. And that is a negative side effect of my dream. Doesn't mean I chose. Doesn't mean I want it. You dummy. It's Monday. You have school. Stop. One of my fears is that it's all a dream and I wake up and I'm a little kid and I remember it all. And like, oh my word, I had this crazy dream. But then I'm like, oh, but I could turn it into a good book.
I do social media.
Screamed and floored it, ran me over to you. No, I didn't.
How come when I go out in public and I meet someone and they're like, oh my God, wait, I loved your videos growing up. You were my childhood. I used to watch you every single day.
Their hands shaking.
Like, you were my child. You know how like we grew up watching Disney Channel?
Yep.
I've had kids come up hundreds of times throughout years of my life, have kids come up to me and say these things.
It turned out. What a tweeze. Get your 9 to 5. Why you choose that? Like, yeah.
Server at an Italian.
Yeah. You wanted to open a bakery, Or a restaurant. Oh well, you chose to have drunk people come in and vomit all over it. Then no, you didn't. That just happens when you have a restaurant in Jacksonville.
Restaurant.
Come on, bro. Life's easy.
Oh, that's not fair.
He has the same menu, makes the same food every day, bro.
First thing I'm gonna say is nobody's gonna say being a nurse isn't hard, because my aunt was. That is the most difficult shit. How are you gonna disrespect your mom like that, dude?
She is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude, honestly.
She works 2 of them.
Okay,
she works at 2 hospitals.
Let me ask you something.
She said it's mad easy. She can work at 2 hospitals.
No disrespect. No disrespect to what you do. I'm not your
He said his mom works too, so it's easy.
target audience. So break it down for me, because I don't even get it.
Oh my God.
Let me ask you something.
You just said I'm not your target audience because I'm black. That's what you just said. You don't watch me because I'm black. And this is what I'm talking about. It's harder.
He has to get judged every
I gotta get judged every day. Everybody thinks I'm a hoodlum. I'm a nice guy.
He's a jolly dude.
I can't get a job because I got taxed. I used to work at Costco's. I had the greatest 401k granted to me. That means that when I retire, I get the biggest stipend of my life. Do you know I could just sit there and just meat pack all day just to really realize that, what, maybe 20 years I'm gonna be sitting on millions because I worked at Costco's?
Yeah, Will.
Okay. I didn't have to interact with nobody, just packing meat.
Yeah, Will.
Come on, bro.
Is what you do fun?
I mean,
Do you enjoy what you do?
if I make it fun,
Do you make it fun?
I could make it fun.
Yes or no? Is what you do fun?
Not everything's fun.
What isn't fun? Break it down for me. What do you do in a day? We'll swap stories. What do you do in a day?
Okay, so it's very stressful, right?
Not fun at all. Because this dude was talking for 20 minutes about playing video games.
Whoa. It sounds like you're jealous, I'm not gonna lie. But
You're on his diesel.
okay, so look, right?
So I'm jealous of a harder job.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
that was sarcasm. You didn't read it. No, I'd like to.
No. Listen to the time that I wake up. I
This
wake
guy's so
up maybe
obnoxious.
3, 4 p.m. Know what I'm saying? I'm already drowsy because I just smoked the night before. You know why I gotta smoke? Because I just deal with thousands of people. I don't even like people. I gotta deal with thousands of them. No, let him stay. You gonna stay for this, right?
Wait, but you still haven't described what you've done other than smoking pot and waking up at 4.
Waking up at 4 p.m., right? Now wake up. I gotta brush my teeth, right? Gotta make sure, cause I got a lot of comments. Now, he don't brush his grills. What does his real teeth look like? I gotta make sure that my yeah.
He got shit down there. He's like a bad day.
And there's girls in his chat too sometimes. So,
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
See him.
I gotta make sure I'm
They're
freshly saving.
so-
I'm not saving this video.
they're
I
so
already know what's gonna
unserious.
happen.
I
There's
love
gonna be
it.
Negative comments. Yo, shave that little scruffy shit on your face.
They're being so unserious, and the guy on the other side genuinely thinks his life is on the line.
Cool.
So
right?
he got fat.
Now I have to game Marvel Rivals for probably 1 to 2 hours before stream. You know why? Because I don't get to game it for after work. Like I could just game it after work, bro.
No
I
energy.
can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't just do that, right? After I do that, now I gotta sit here and plan with somebody what I'm gonna do for the stream today. Oh, looks like we got no content. All right, let's see if we can just scrub
Guess
something
what?
around.
No content, no money.
No content, no money. Now look, probably by 8 or 9 p.m., I'm still probably thinking I gotta do something for stream. My mind is fried.
You know what's crazy?
My mind is-
8, 9 p.m. for him? Oh, I did my work
You
today.
already did
I did my work today.
You took the same boss already.
You're going to sleep.
I don't want to hog the space here too much, but do you know the expression, give a man enough rope?
You're losing me.
Kill
No, I don't know this. I don't know.
Basically, you're talking yourself into a hole, man. Okay, my turn. I'll be brief.
Wait,
What do you enjoy doing to unwind? Take that, do it for 12 hours a day, and have people telling you how bad you suck at it.
Man, a rope.
What is he?
Wait,
It means-
is that racist?
Get
this racist out of here! He has no social cues. Oh, you're back? Rhonda.
Oh no, Rhonda's
Your
back.
black auntie.
Yeah,
That's what I
okay.
want to say.
Uh-huh.
You say you don't like people. It's all about relationships that you got with people. So when you say like that, do you really mean that?
Do I not like people?
You said
I'm an
you
introvert.
said,
I'd rather be in my own space. I'd rather be by myself.
and that's okay. But what is it that you're doing that's helping other people?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Saving lives. I'm a superhero.
He's a hero.
I'm a superhero, no cape.
I'm gonna start watching him. He's funny. What was his name? I'm a superhero, no cape. I really love him. He's hilarious. Does anyone know what his name was? Does anyone know his? I know some of y'all knew what Faze was. Y'all know his name is, or do I need to go back? He's so fun. I'm a superhero, no cape. I'm a superhero. I save lives. I'm a superhero. Oh my word. What was his name? I gotta pee. I don't want to stop it though. Silky. His name's Silky. Silky. Okay. Jason's a fast-rising Twitch streamer known for energetic gaming, IRL streaming, community content, 2024. I liked him a lot. Taking out enemies insane with her spice. Oh no. Oh, not this lady. This lady, okay, this lady, no shade, gives me crystal vibes, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, they believe the crystals, if you have a certain one, will heal you, and one will give you love, and that's the vibe she's giving.
How you doing?
I'm good.
With
How
her,
are
you gotta touch people.
That's right. I'm Thelma again.
I believe 9 to 5 is harder. I mean,
Oh, Rhonda's so cute.
I think streaming is so much harder. Why are you doing it?
I can't have a public relationship because of the public eye.
That
and
about
how
girls
they
named
judge my
Crystal?
relationships.
No.
I had a breakup with a girlfriend.
Lightsaber
that
crystals? True.
I loved so dearly because I chose.
Bro hasn't even finished his tattoos. Let him
So
finish
my
his thought,
question
bro.
again.
I loved her.
My question.
I loved her, and you're laughing.
My question again. My question. If you think it's so much harder, why are you doing it?
Because I'm passionate about it.
Okay, so you love it. You love streaming. So do you love it more than you loved that girlfriend?
That's what I had to decide. I had to make sacrifice, and
So
that's
you-
what you have to
so
do.
you lost
with
the
streaming.
human touch.
But
You
guess
think
what?
you
If I
can't
had a
have a
9 to 5,
lost the human
if I was
touch
flipping burgers,
Well,
I
you
could
can't have a
my
private
girlfriend still.
relationship.
But you lost the human touch for the streaming.
Being a streamer, you have to be
I've had
judged
death
on
threats cracks up.
thousands of people's opinions every single day. 9 to
It's
5
true.
person, maybe
But
1, 2, 3.
okay, and then back
That's
to my
true.
point. Back to my point. Is that your choice? Was that your choice?
But that's not the point, though. The point
No,
is
that's my point. That's my point.
streaming is harder
Was
than 9 to 5.
that
That's the point.
you gave up your
Okay,
girl?
well, your choice was to go work at 9 to 5, so you can't complain then. Like, it hurt. That's your choice argument. It's so stupid!
Come on now.
Shit, he ran up a bag.
Everything has
He
cause.
ran up a
I
bag.
ain't gonna lie,
He did it for a bag.
But the thing is, it comes to a point. Do I pick love and a future with someone I care dearly for? Or do I pick
something that I
future
love?
for something that I'm passionate about and motion? I pick motion.
You can't have a private relationship, though, Key. Like, everyone will have opinions on it, and everyone will... I mean, an example is Ludwig and Cutie, Cinderella. She constantly talks about how people come into her chat and blame her for why, like, Ludwig's upset and all this stuff, and say that she's the reason he's not streaming, and she gets death threats for it. Like, it's really hard to have a public relationship and people just constantly have opinions on it. You can't have something that's just yours. Streamers lose touch with humanity, lose proof that isn't okay. Bad example. Yeah, it's similar to celebrity relationships.
Amazing name.
Thank you. I'm an attorney.
She makes a percent off people's fuck ups. I like that.
If you had an opportunity to get a 9 to 5 that you could create yourself, like whatever you want,
Yes,
9
I
to
would.
5, you would take it?
Yes.
Because why?
Because I don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
You don't? What? Come to this side.
No, but I have to because this is what I built my career off of. I started.
You feel stuck.
I feel stuck, yeah.
Have you ever watched a show and you stopped watching it?
Mm.
Have you ever watched a show and you were like,
All the time.
It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have to.
That
I have
TV
to-
show can't. It's done. What happens to all those actors?
It's
after that?
canceled
They gotta
because I
go to-
stopped watching?
Well, no. I'm saying if
Baby,
if thousands of you
Honey.
stop watching.
I think you guys are mixing all
Yeah,
the issues.
Cartoon Network. It's like
and
they
not
got millions of
focusing
people.
on-
You guys know what Cartoon Network is?
If your
It's
father
gone.
would stop, would you come up with a different brand then?
All those people are gone. Yeah, but pivot. That's the point.
What? Okay, in September, Swag signed exclusive streaming content with YouTube, became the first place cam member to do so. Okay. 80 kills in a single Warzone match. Okay. Okay, he's a Warzone player. I don't like him already.
Nice to meet you.
Person's choice to listen to that kind of stuff. Yeah, but you gotta think, if you, just because you loved someone, you were getting thousands of death threats. I mean, you could say the same thing. It's my choice to stream. That's what I was saying earlier. It's my choice to stream and be a content creator. And yeah, I could not listen to the people sending very heinous
streaming
things.
helps
These are fun,
not
Sam.
at all.
But when you're getting a lot of it, does start to weigh on you. And again, I'm a minuscule of where these people are at. So like take that times a billion and they're getting it and they're just trying. She's a streamer too, so she's just trying to game and do her thing, and people are constantly coming in, you know, sending death threats, hating on her, all that. It would be tough. It is tough. No human alive can say they could do that and have it not impact their mental health whatsoever. We're humans. It's going to impact us.
I'm a professional model, but
Okay.
I've worked since I was at the age of 14.
Okay.
I was a gamer too.
I just think personally, like I agree with Jason that I think streaming does take a certain more than a 9 to 5, and I also think, you know, everybody in here, right? If you guys all try to be a streamer, right, and then we all try to do what you guys do,
You get L's in your chat.
the probability of everybody here trying to be an attorney is way higher than somebody making streaming a career.
Absolutely, your job is just got lucky because you're a gamer. You got lucky. There's so many people like you
I was
out
talented.
there.
It wasn't
These
pure
days,
luck.
everybody's an influencer. Come on.
No. But
So many.
no. But specifically, what I do, I'm not posting selfies around the world. You know, it's basically all pure talent.
Wait, okay.
Can I just why is he lucky? Why do we all get lucky though?
What is your talent? Yeah.
Call of Duty. I was a professional Call of Duty player, like actual like.
So you were sitting at home and you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life while you were gaming? You're like, oh, let's put a
I
camera.
was 16, so it wasn't really like that.
You weren't really thinking of what should I do with my life? Like, what should I study? What should I like? Where does my life go? You just got lucky.
It's not luck. It's just he's determined. He knows that's the only route.
But you could say she also got lucky as being in modeling. You got lucky with the genetics you were given. You got lucky that you were a tall, skinny person. You know, like that. Also, you could say is luck.
Put in hours.
As well.
Yeah, no.
That's what we do too. We go to
it
school,
wasn't
we
luck.
study.
Everybody's a little bit of luck. I think, you know, people who don't have a job, you know, they feel they want to get lucky by getting a job. So I think people even having a job is some sort of luck.
He said, how many people of us could do this? No, it's luck. It's 1 of a million because for whatever
How is
reason.
that luck? If 1 out of a million, that one has to be the best. So how are you going to dismiss
Is
all
he
this
the
hard
best?
It
work
is a
and all
percent
these
of luck.
people?
I will say it's a percent of luck. It's definitely a percent of luck, especially with algorithms. But it also, there is a lot of other things put into it. I mean, again, you have to be entertaining. You have to have the talent. I mean, he's a professional gamer. That is talent. A lot of people say, oh, it's a professional. Duh, everyone's a professional gamer for a reason. They are just really good at the game. There's no different than, would you say football players are lucky? They practice. They get really good. There's a reason quarterbacks on professional teams get paid millions. They're good at what they do. Maybe they got lucky with, you know, the right person being there at the right time. Yes, I agree. But they also have a lot of talent that comes with it. There's no difference. Just one's throwing a football and one's gaming. And a lot of it is like analytics and knowing algorithms and learning all of that. I mean, there is also smarts that come with it.
I got four.
No,
last year. No. Let me give my statistics. There was over 300,000 people that played Warzone last year. This is the game that I play.
Okay.
I got 4th. So I was a top 12 player across the entire world.
And you're telling him
So that's not luck. That's pure skill.
So you're dismissing, is Michael Jordan lucky? Is LeBron James lucky?
Yes.
Are they lucky?
I mean,
No,
they have a talent. They have a talent.
They had a
but
team.
as,
So what
you
he
know how
do-
many talented people out there and don't get the chance, they don't get the shot at it?
I don't want to take up his time. So he's not talented?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not
That's
at
what
all.
you just said.
You just said.
What he did to
I
get
said
to where
a
he
lot
is.
of
She said,
people
but they have
don't get
talent.
the shot to do what he does.
Or people who
So
make it
it's
to the
luck.
NBA.
But I didn't even get a shot. It was I did it off the strength of me. You know, there was no one who gave me a shot or anything like that. I simply was. You dead ass?
Yo, you being serious?
Why you laughing?
Why they laughing, bro?
It's not luck. I've been doing this for 13 years. I uploaded 3,000 videos. 2,000 was I edited myself while I went to college, worked a job, and still went to school.
And yeah,
So that's not. I mean, if that's fucking,
stand on it, stand on it.
if that's luck,
Where's the luck at in that equation?
Again.
is there a percentage? We are all lucky in some way, right? If we all have a job,
That's
we're
what I'm saying.
lucky
There's a
in
percentage
some
of
sort
luck.
of way. But
God bless.
off of specific pure talent, and I worked on that since I was 16.
Again, I work with many.
Really kind of pretentious about schooling. I went to school. It's pretty easy just having people tell you what assignments to do. Don't get me wrong. Some people like medical field. I'm sure it's hard. I'm not gonna pretend this guy has it easy because he didn't have to go to school. He got an audience by working hard on his own. That means something. I find school way easier than trying to make it. Yeah, I don't know. This lady's annoying.
Talented people. I'm not saying about you.
Yeah.
I'm just talking in general. And there's so many people that.
I
very
gotta
talented.
pee. She made me have to pee. She's so annoying. She made me have to pee. All right, I'll be back. Yes, I washed my hands, bro. Shut up.
Never get a shot because they don't do the right
This
thing.
is not
They
I
don't
wash
go the
my
right
hands.
path. They don't meet the right people. So there are so many even talented actors here. They never get a shot. So I'm just saying it's pure luck.
It wasn't luck. I just saw an opportunity and just genuinely took it. It wasn't a handout. It was simply just, you know what,
We're just gonna wake
I'm
up at
talented,
3
I
a.m.
call-
with new counterpoint. Yeah, I don't think these people are taking in. I think a lot of them are thinking that people just game, and people just watch people game in silence. I truly don't think these people understand what it is. Now, that doesn't mean I'm saying it's harder than a 9 to 5. I'm just saying I think they're speaking about it like it's nothing because they think it's just people sitting there going like this. All right, good night, everybody. This guy's an idiot. Boom.
oh, Diddy, this is what I want to do. It took me 8 years to make it a career. Is there something funny?
I don't understand her.
Video game.
It's a talent.
Permission to dick ride? Hey, he's made tens of millions of dollars playing video games, so.
Exactly. That's that privilege. That's that privilege.
But I'm saying though, you couldn't hop on a game and do what I do.
You couldn't do it.
That's a skill.
Your son couldn't do it. Your grandkids couldn't do it.
Some people
Your
can't.
son's grandkids could never do it. They could never do it.
Anything that takes a talent.
The genes are done. They can't do it. They can't.
How many hours a day did you spend?
When I was younger?
Yeah, when you were younger.
Oh, I would wake up 3 hours before school. So I wake up at 4 a.m. and I would play before school. Bus would come at 7. I go to home, come back, and do it again. I was 16. What's funny?
See, there's a disconnect here, because to you guys, when you guys were growing up, yes, it was just video games, it was whatever. But when we were coming up, we're like, wait, maybe we can make this career. Maybe if we get good enough at it. and we
There's a
create-
Do you not
definite
think,
disconnect.
think if you're talented at something, it's a God-given gift?
Video games is not like
You don't think you don't think it's talent.
You're just too old to understand.
That's it's just, I can't argue that because
Man, it involves learning skills before things in front of people. Do you look at actors and go, it's just a movie?
Y'all could
I
never
gotta
play
keep it a-
FNCS either. It's
I
the
gotta
same
keep
shit.
it a buck. There's a disconnect.
Same
You come
shit.
from
There is a
generation
disconnect.
where this didn't exist. This career, you looked at this career and you laughed. Now, how come in colleges?
I'm gonna
they're
be
teaching-
honest. A lot of the older generation looks at it and laughs and makes fun of it because they're salty. They didn't get to do it. I'm gonna just be honest, and I would be the same way. I'd be the same way if I was like, bro, you get to pay to do that. That's so cool. Like, I mean, that's what my parents say. My dad's like, if that would have been a thing growing up, I would have done it. Like, that's why my dad pushes me to do it. Yes, he pushed me to get a college degree because he was like, it's very unstable. Like, I trust that you think, like, you know what you're doing, and I trust that you believe it's what God wants you to do. But just in case, let's get a degree. Let's, here, and he's helped me make a budget and helped me, budget my life out so I can make sure that I'm not just going to run myself into the ground. That's why I do dog walking on the side. I make sure I can try to abstain myself and be independent. But he's like, yeah, I would have done the same thing if they had that. He's like, I 100% would have done it if they had that growing up. So I think it's a little bit of just like they're upset they didn't get to do it and it wasn't a thing.
Courses on.
It's similar to photography. It's not just picking up a camera and pushing a button. Exactly.
And esports.
Oh.
When you grew up, this didn't exist, so no
People see
wonder
the
you're
success and all the
laughing
work that
at
goes
this
into
shit.
making it
Because
successful.
you're-
It's the same thing for music, 100%. People see, I don't love Taylor Swift music. I like her older stuff. I'll listen to it sometimes. I don't love her newer stuff. People see her getting paid all this money and are like, oh, she's just getting on stage and singing. That's it. It's like, there's a lot that goes into that, bro. There is a lot that goes into, even at the stage she's at, it's still a lot that goes into it just from her herself. It's a lot. I mean, she does 3-hour shows? It's a lot of work. It's a whole, just because someone succeeded in what they love doing doesn't take away the amount of work. Just because you love what you're doing doesn't take away the amount of work. It might change your mindset while you're in that work, but it doesn't take away and devalue that she is working. She is putting in the work and she's doing the thing. And you can't be salty that you're not getting to do the thing and say, oh, well, she's not actually working. Because if you were in that situation, you would be working. You'd be like, I'm working, but I got successful. I think a lot of it does come from just being mad that they didn't get to do it. I'll be honest. Live theater and acting and filming, they can be careers and require talent. It's very competitive and not everyone makes it.
Come from a completely different generation. You just don't get it, and I don't know if you ever will be able to wrap your head around.
Oh.
And it's fun. But it's like,
And that's
again, it's
okay.
Oh, you gotta
That's
fight
fine.
back.
That's
You gotta
okay.
fight back. I'm not gonna lie.
He said you gotta fight back.
I'm Ronnie.
Ronnie, nice to
This
meet you.
past-
My name's Ronnie.
you were talking about job security. Are you familiar with layoffs, with being furloughed? Like, taking
We
it back
fall
to...
off.
That's being... What? What does that even mean?
You lose everything. Every dollar. Everything. You lose everything.
Okay, and then you can rebuild yourself back. You
The same way
reinvest.
you can do if you get laid off. You get a
Yeah,
new
that's
job.
it's kind
okay.
of is it not the same concept? Like
I don't know. Back in 2020, when everybody was getting furloughed, everybody was like, "Oh, let me go to social media." That's kind of an easy alternative. So that seems kind of easy.
I know,
And
but
then-
I know, but if you lose a job, you can't.
just get another
No,
one?
you can search for. You have an opportunity to search for another one. No?
Okay, I've been searching for another one for 10 months. I interview every day.
I will
give the
say,
same-
you want to know what's harder than streaming? Getting employed. Getting employed. Because you got to have 20 plus years of experience for minimum wage and Interpay. I will say, you know what's harder than all of this? Finding a job. Because ain't nobody want to work anymore. Oh, what are you hiring? $7 an hour. You need 20 plus years of experience and a 8-year degree. Ah. So I agree with her. Finding a job is difficult. Finding a job took me 2.5 years. Yeah.
Same spiel. Have to give that smile of walking through
I
my resume.
uploaded videos for 7 years and
Finding a
barely got
job
any
is a
views.
job in itself.
And
It's
wait,
just-
you
it's-
uploaded 7 videos and,
and
didn't get any views
went to school, and still.
and paid rent?
Yes, I still worked. I worked
Oh, so that you had another job.
as a parking attendant. Yes.
Okay, and was that harder
Then what?
than streaming?
No, I was on my phone all the time.
Oh, as a parking attendant, that doesn't sound like you were doing a very good job.
I was chilling.
You were chilling. You weren't good
Wait,
at your
he's
job.
waiting for.
When cars park, they're done. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't have to.
Well, that's
I'm not security.
that's
I just
a
go.
one
I
nine
go
to
like this. I
five.
go like this. Yo, right there. I bet. Do you think an aspect of a video game, playing video games, is a talent?
I would say it's a skill. I wouldn't call it a talent. You can master it with,
Same
you know,
thing.
But people
my
play.
next-
Millions play video games, but there are very few people who are genuinely gifted at it.
Gifted? What are they, Mozart?
How is it not a talent? Why is it not a talent what he does?
You know what? I'm open to it being a talent. I think it's a skill. I think it's something you can master. I don't think you're a Mozart that you have this gift of like, whoa, when I put my thumb here and this thumb there and do this combo, I do this
You'd be
flip.
surprised. I mean, there's people out there who
Has
are
she
genuinely.
not seen Faker mid lane in League of Legends? 5-time world winner? Has she not seen him? That is pure talent! Has she not seen Ludawissy and Kyria? Oh, I don't like her. So far, the dude that was like, I respect what y'all do, but I don't agree, and Rhonda have been my favorite.
The most gifted.
so good.
That's like saying, here's a paintbrush, go paint me Picasso.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm saying.
what?
I'm saying this is so hard. If there's certain games that have $1 million prize pools, if there's a skill you could just learn and you're looking for a job for 10 months, go pick up a controller and go hop in this $1 million tournament and win it.
You
And win it.
couldn't. You couldn't
qualify.
You couldn't.
What do you mean I wouldn't
You can't even find your OBS stream key. Stop playing.
I need to work for it,
I know,
but...
So like, but you're dismissing what he does.
You can
You're
find
just
the
dismissing,
OBS.
like,
I'm not
oh,
dismissing, I'm saying
it's
that's
not a
easy.
skill, it's not a talent. Like,
He said you couldn't find your OBS stream key. People have talent at piano and art music. Yeah, she's being your typical. Streaming's not content creation is not a job. You need a real job. And it's like, well, successful content creation pays more than the real job. So what's the real job here? I think I'm gonna go with the fake job. Shoot, sign me up for the fake job. Button and joysticks are so easy. Go drive a crane.
Skill. I didn't say it's a talent. I said it's a skill. It's a skill that you
But
can learn,
how do you know? How do you know if it's easy if you haven't done it? Like if you
I
don't.
played Mario Kart. I've played other games.
Not a professional level though.
No, not a professional level because that's not what I'm trying to pursue.
I know, but you don't understand what it takes to be on that sort of level. So how can you try to dismiss it and say it's yours is harder?
What
How
does-
do you know?
what
how
does
do
it
you
take
know?
to be on that
Because
level?
I've worked.
Like, this woman is very close-minded. Very close-minded, very much so. Anyone can do it, which they can't. They really can't. At the end of the day, there's a reason that there's a prize pool, and there's a reason there's one winner at the end of the night. There's a reason Faker has 5 world titles in his name, and nobody else has 5. You know why? Because he's the best. And when you talk to these people about football, all of a sudden, they're like, oh, yeah, they're talented. Yeah, Tom Brady's the best. That's why he has all of those, because he's skilled. He's talented. Okay, but when you take the same thing and you go to esports, oh, no, that's just video games. What are you not understanding? It's what are you not understanding? You know? I don't condone slapping people, however. Tom Brady's talented at cheating. Oh no. Tom Brady's the only one I know that won Super Bowls. That's why I said
what does it take to be on that level?
Just gift, and you got to play all
Just
the time.
gift?
Tens of thousands of hours of work,
Practice
editing, and filming,
and being
constantly
gifted.
I'm just talking about
innovate
pure
and
skill. As far as like the
reinvent
videos and stuff like that, just off pure
Aaron
skill.
Rodgers. Oh yeah, I know that guy.
I had to put tens of thousands
He's
of
Green
hours
Bay.
Could you get a
into my
refresh second
studies.
zone, Tarping? Could you?
I have no idea what you said.
Could you get a refresh going into second zone with no mats? Can you get a refresh on the best players? You
I
couldn't.
can also put, I can circle back and give
Do
you
you know how to
different
short launch
terms
pad?
from
When you're
my
trying to get to third
industries.
zone, third moving. Do you know
I
how to
don't know
short?
No,
launch
I
it?
don't. But if I
Exactly,
want,
you couldn't, but Excel sheet, you could do Excel sheet.
no, but exactly. I
They're
can
just talking. They're just talking game.
These
and
refreshes
As a
don't come to
babysitter,
you.
I can talk to you about the different things I do and ask you, could you do that? No, but if you wanted to, you would.
If us,
I'm sorry. Babysitting was not the right one to say there. I'm pretty sure anybody with half a brain could babysit. Listen, my aunt and uncle put Tristan, who shot his own leg. He's an EMT and shot his own leg because he went to reach for a cinnamon bun in the microwave. If my aunt put him in charge of babysitting, bro, anybody can do it. No, I'm sorry. Anybody can do it.
four. Took 3 days.
Big forehead Corbett. Hey, I
You
can't
can
talk
master
nothing
an
about
Excel
big
sheet?
foreheads, bro.
Oh,
But let me give you. If I give you 3 days about a video game, do you think you could be that talented as me?
if I wanted to, I would.
So let's give you, so let's pay
He's
for
literally
her,
a
whatever.
professional gamer. Bro, okay, now this lady's just making me mad, bro. You can take turns for anything and pretend you're smarter, but babysitting was the one thing that doesn't apply. It's like she should have used anything else.
It is. Give you 3
please.
days, but if you lose, you got to give us it back in double.
No, that's not how
what
a job works.
happened?
You pay me, I'll get the job done.
Their final thoughts. Oh no.
I would say, in a sense, yes, because you have to put in the work and you got to be on 24/7.
It's difficult to answer that
True.
question for us, I think, because we didn't come up in this time frame,
Aw.
in this era. So
They're being
and
sweet.
technology is totally different now, because we were just talking about playing tic-tac-toe on the sidewalk with chalk. I appreciate and respect what they do, and I think that's the consensus for most of us, that we appreciate and respect
Not that
where
one
they
lady,
are.
she don't.
But it's not, what we did was, we just feel like what we did was harder. And that's what I think. So.
My mind was changed in the sense that now I'm even more convinced that normal jobs are harder.
That was sweet. Those two people were sweet. At the end of the day, most 9-to-5 jobs, if not all, are harder than being a streamer. Most of them are harder, but not all of them are harder than being a successful and working your way up to be a successful streamer. Like dog walking. As someone who walks dogs, I would say trying to become a successful streamer is a lot harder than putting that leash on that dog and walking for 30 minutes. And I have POTS, so walking for 30 minutes sometimes includes me sitting down going, I might pass out. I would say dog walking is not as hard as trying to become successful in content creation. And so I think, it definitely is perspective. And I think when most people think 9 to 5, they're thinking being out in the hot sun, working, or, these jobs where you have to go in and you hate your life. Like my dad hates his job, but he has to do it because he wants to provide for his family. So I think that's what most people think of when they think of 9 to 5. And I would agree that those are harder. Definitely being a nurse, definitely being a teacher, definitely being, all of those, of course it's harder. I feel like it's a no-brainer. But there's going to be some jobs that are easier. There's going to be some 9 to 5s that are easier than trying to become successful on being a streamer. Just because of the day and age we're in, it's very hard to do so. It's very saturated. It definitely takes luck. There's a percentage of luck. As a Christian, I believe it's a percentage of if it's the right path for you and God needs you in that position, he's going to make it happen. Not to be a people pleaser, but I think we should appreciate that everyone's jobs is important. Okay, not to be that guy, but I think we should appreciate that everyone's job is important. Because when you come home from doing your hard 9 to 5, do you like to relax and be entertained? I think so. And you wouldn't be entertained if you had no entertainers. So I'm just saying, I think everyone should be thankful, because as a streamer, you should be thankful that there's 9-to-5 workers who are working so that you can either A, get sponsored by their company and do promotion for them or whatever, or B, go get your Chipotle sandwich, or go get, I said sandwich, they don't have sandwiches, whatever, I don't eat out, so I don't know. But you should be grateful for the 9-to-5s because you get to enjoy and reap from their benefit. And the 9-to-5s can be grateful of the entertainers because when they come home, they get to sit down and enjoy, you know, the entertainment. So I think everyone should just get along. I think everyone should just get along, and that would be great. Get a real job, Lou. I need something to watch. You know, if you want to become a streamer and you think it's the easiest thing in the world, try it, and you might see that it is a little bit more difficult than you thought. Doesn't mean that it's the hardest thing in the world. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna die. But it might show you that, oh my word, it is a little bit more difficult than just clicking a button and going live and there's millions of dollars in front of you. That was so, like, that made me uncomfortable. I don't like this. Get along, everybody.